jana vallabha girivaradhari jaya gopi jana vallabha girivaradhari jaya gopi jana vallabha girivaradhari jaya gopi jana vallabha girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Bhagavad Gita chapter 14 verse number 12. Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanam ashamaspriha rajasyetani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshabha. The meaning of this verse is, O chief of the Bharatas, When there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, uncontrollable desire, hankering, and intense endeavor develop. So, this series of verses in this chapter will describe the effect of the three gunas in different ways on the consciousness of a conditioned soul. We are all within the clutches of the illusory energy called Maya, and this Maya consists of these three gunas. Through these three gunas, Maya will influence us, and the influence is being explained. In a previous verse, it was explained that when there is a manifestation of the mode of goodness, then all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Similarly, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, four things are said here. Due to the mode of passion increasing, one will develop great attachment. Material attachment is a symptom of material existence, and that attachment is very, very much greater if the mode of passion dominates, and a person is influenced by this passion to increase the attachment. Then it is also said uncontrollable desire. Again, this is material desire. Material desire for enjoyment, material desires for getting some material possessions, material desires for lording over, material desires for enjoying in so many different ways, constantly thinking. So uncontrollable desire. Actually, material desires are to be controlled, are to be subdued. Then only there is possibility that one can think with a cool head about what is the real goal of life, what is the aim of life, what am I supposed to do, where is real happiness, why is it that I never get real happiness in spite of all arrangements that I try to make for simply being happy. So it is not possible with the influence of this mode of passion to think about something for one's own ultimate good, ultimate welfare. It's not possible. Uncontrollable desire, hankering. I want. This is hankering. More and more and more, and there's no limit to this. So this hankering and intense endeavor, if somebody is doing some work for getting some result due to the mode of passion, intense endeavor, they'll work very, 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 very hard, to the extent that they may even spoil their health, they may even develop so much of stress related problems. They may neglect to take care of themselves. So intense endeavor in such a way that I must get the result. They don't realize the result is not in your hands. Results are in the hands of the Supreme Lord through the material nature, and the laws are operating. Irrespective of how much ever intense endeavor one may put in some activity, if the karma is not to get some result, the person will never get the result by material action, never get the result. But foolish people who are carried away by such influence, they don't realize. And then the person is described under the mode of passion, never satisfied with the position is already acquired. In the 4th chapter, Krishna has said one of the symptoms of a person on the spiritual path is yadruchalabha santushto. One is satisfied with whatever gain comes of its own accord, without any special endeavor. But passion is just the opposite. One endeavors very, very intensely and one wants the result at all costs. Not satisfied with any position he has got. He wants to increase his position more and more and more and more. Unlimitedly he wants to increase. So these are typical symptoms of a person influenced by the mode of passion. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse number 13. Aprakasho apravratischa pramado moha evacha tamasyetani jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. The meaning of this verse is, O son of Kuru, when there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, madness, illusion, inertia and darkness are manifested. Again, increase in the mode of ignorance. First was goodness, then passion, now third is ignorance. So ignorance means it results in madness. Madness is that one is unable to engage one's intelligence properly. Whimsically one will act. That is a symptom of the mode of influence or the mode of ignorance. One does not work by a regulative principle. And no illumination means knowledge is absent. Doesn't work by knowledge, acts whimsically. And for no purpose, there is no specific aim in doing something. So even though sometimes there is capacity to work, the person influenced by ignorance will not endeavor at all, lazy, very lethargic. So this is actually illusion. Even though the person can work, he thinks, oh, I cannot do, or I don't want to do, I don't feel like doing. So this is illusion. And even though there is consciousness, really a person in ignorance is inactive. So it is a very, very negative force that makes a person completely negative in life. So it's very dangerous. This influence or the mode of ignorance is the most dangerous. Among these three gunas, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Tamoguna is the worst kind of influence. Rajoguna also is bad. It is in between Sattva-guna and Tamoguna. But even Rajoguna is bad. The only mode of goodness is little favorable compared to the other two. It is little favorable for Krishna consciousness or spiritual life. But in itself, mode of goodness is not the perfect stage. Perfect stage is freedom from all the three gunas. That is a perfect stage. But one cannot easily transcend the modes just by deciding to do so. No. It will be explained later on that one who engages in pure devotional service immediately is able to elevate oneself onto the spiritual platform. Immediately. So therefore, the solution to this problem of the influence of the gunas is simply to engage in pure devotional service. Pure devotional service is very, very, very powerful. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse number 14 and 15. Two verses together. Yada sattve pravruddhetu pralayam yati dehabhrit tadottama vidam lokan amalan pratipadyate. The 15th verse also I'll read. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralinas tamasi mudha yonishu jayate. So this is specifically describing the effects of the three gunas in terms of when one dies. So first of all, goodness is explained. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when he dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. So first of all, goodness is explained. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains higher planetary systems like Brahmaloka, Tapoloka, Janaloka, Maharloka. And in these planets, one can enjoy godly happiness. The word Amalan that is used in this 14th verse, Amalan Pratipadyate. Amalan means pure. It means it is free from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. The residents of these higher planets are situated on the highest mode of goodness. In this material world, there are impurities, but even in the impure state, in this material world, goodness is the purest form of existence. And among the three gunas, goodness is the purest form of existence. And there are different kinds of planets for different kinds of living beings. Not all planets are the same. So those who die in the mode of goodness, they are elevated to planets where great sages live, great devotees live, and they are all seriously interested in self-realization. They are not interested in sense gratification. Now, regarding the influence of the passion and ignorance when one dies in the mode of passion or ignorance, it is explained here by Srila Prabhupada that some people think that when the soul reaches the human form of life, it will never go down again. Those who are aware that we have to keep taking birth again and again, they think after human life is achieved, they'll never go back to the lower forms. But that is wrong. If one develops the mode of ignorance, after death, one is degraded to animal life. So human form of life is a junction point for the living being in this material world. From human form, one can either go up, or one can remain on the human platform, or one goes down to the animal kingdom. All three possibilities exist if one gets a human form of life. Of course, the best opportunity in this human form of life is to cultivate Krishna consciousness and completely transcend all the three gunas. That is the best. But even if one is unable to cultivate Krishna consciousness, at least one tries to remain in the mode of goodness. That will help a person to elevate oneself. And the danger of this mode of ignorance is that one has to elevate oneself again by the gradual evolutionary process, and takes many thousands or millions of lives before one can get the human form of life again. Therefore, somebody is serious about this opportunity in the human form of life. Such a person should take to the mode of goodness and try to transcend all the three gunas by good association and by properly practicing Krishna consciousness. Actually, Krishna consciousness is the real aim of life. Otherwise, if one does not take to Krishna consciousness, there is no guarantee. So the best thing is to take to Krishna consciousness. One is guaranteed to make progress, only to go higher and higher, ultimately to get out of material existence entirely. Now I'll take some questions. How to awaken my intense desire for returning back to home, back to Godhead, back to Krishna Loka? Intense desire. Desire is natural for everyone, but in the association one develops a particular type of desire. So you associate with devotees, you develop devotional desire. This is a devotional desire. And to strengthen the desire is possible by spiritual activity. By spiritual activity, the spiritual desires are strengthened. So increase your spiritual activity and associate more and more with devotees who have strong desire to go back to Godhead. You also develop such a desire. Next question. If one reaches the spiritual world, one who reaches the spiritual world never returns, how do Vishnudutas come to this material world to take souls back home like Ajamila? Never returns means they are not forced to come to the material world to take birth in the material world and suffer the consequences. That's the meaning. But Vishnudutas come to do service to Vishnu. They are ready to do service to Vishnu anywhere. And wherever they are unaffected by the material atmosphere. Please remember that. Pure devotees who are situated in 100% Krishna consciousness are unaffected by material atmosphere. This is characteristic of those in pure spiritual existence, the pure devotees. So they come here for the purpose of the Supreme Lord's mission in this material world. Because the Supreme Lord wants to take back all the living beings who are suffering here. He wants them to end their suffering and go to his personal abode to associate with him for eternal, blissful life. That's what the Supreme Lord wants or desires. But we also have to awaken our Krishna consciousness. That is also required. So the Lord makes all arrangements. And one of the arrangements is he sends his representatives, the Vishnudutas or the bona fide spiritual master, Prabhupada. Prabhupada comes to this world, he doesn't come for any material purpose. He comes here simply to preach Krishna consciousness and to participate in the mission of the Lord to deliver conditioned souls back to God. Next question. Is Vaikuntha the name of the spiritual sky, portion of the spiritual sky, or a group of planets? As the purport denotes, Vaikuntha planets in the plural number. The different set combinations of the positions of the four things in four hands can be calculated mathematically and can be definite. Are the Vaikuntha planets thus definite? Now, Vaikuntha planets are unlimited in number. That's the first thing. That's what is explained in the scriptures. Vaikuntha planets are unlimited in number. Then, Vaikuntha means that place where there is no anxiety. And that refers to the spiritual planets. The spiritual sky is characterized by the presence of the Brahma Jyoti, the illumination, the effulgence of the Supreme Lord's transcendental form that illuminates the entire spiritual sky. But the devotees, pure devotees of Krishna, are entitled to reside in the Vaikuntha planets. All are completely spiritual, all the Vaikuntha planets. Now the Lord, Supreme Lord Narayana, he is a predominating deity in each Vaikuntha planet, different forms of Lord Narayana. In the four hands, the four symbols are held by Narayana, and according to that arrangement, there are different names. 24 different names are there. 24 different combinations are possible in the four hands, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So 24 different names are there. But all the Vaikuntha planets, innumerable Vaikuntha planets, are predominated by one of these forms of Narayana in the matter of the arrangement of the symbols in the four hands. So beginning with Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Madhusudana, Trivikrama, like that it goes on. 24 different names of the 24 different forms according to the arrangement of the four symbols. Next question. Why is it that Ajamila started grieving and became depressed before the war? Sorry, I read the question wrongly. I'm sorry. I'm going to reread the question. Why is it that Arjuna started grieving and became depressed before the war, even though he was a pure devotee and should have known all that was taught in the Bhagavad Gita already? The reason Arjuna started grieving and became depressed, even though he was a pure devotee, is because Krishna put him into that position so that Krishna could speak Bhagavad Gita for our benefit. Arjuna, being a pure devotee, does not require the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. So it is for our benefit that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita by putting Arjuna into illusion and Arjuna questioning Krishna as if Arjuna is affected by illusion. So on our behalf, Arjuna is asking. For our benefit, Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita. Next question. It is said that when we were in the spiritual world, we got desire and came to this world. Why and how we got desire when we were with Krishna? Now, you see, it is very difficult for us to understand how we came into material existence. Different places, different explanations are given in the scriptures. But we should understand we have been in this material existence for a very, 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 very long time. The scriptures explain, Anadi karma phale padi bhavar navajale tari bare na dekhi upay. Anadi means beginningless karma. To give you an example, I have got this present body because of my state of consciousness in my previous body. At the time of death in my previous body, I had a certain type of consciousness which resulted in me getting a birth in this material world in this particular material body. How did I get that previous body? Previous to that, I had another body in which I actually had some karma, and at the time of death, that karma resulted in that next body. So like that, you go on tracing backward, you come to the beginning of creation. At the beginning of creation, how does anybody get a body? It is based on the karma present at the time of death in the previous annihilation. Cyclically, creation, maintenance, destruction goes on in this material world. Continuously, perpetually it is going on. So, prior to this creation, there was another creation, maintenance, destruction. So that destruction, when it happened, whatever my karma, that karma is intact. And when till the next creation takes place, that karma will be lying dormant with the soul. And then in the next creation, the soul is activated by the glance of Mahavishnu and the karma is coming into effect. Whatever type of body a person is supposed to get, that body he will get definitely without fail. So, karma is beginningless. We cannot trace out the beginning. Therefore, we don't try to find out how did we fall down, when did we fall down. We don't try to find out that. Rather, we recognize that now I am in this material world. I don't belong to this place. I belong to the spiritual world. If I go to the spiritual world, there is eternal blissful life full of knowledge. And with this understanding, I simply prepare myself to get out of this material existence. It's just like when there is a fire in the building. Do you try to find out how did the building catch fire, or should you try to save yourself first from the danger of the fire? What would you do first? You first try to save yourself, and after you are safe, you may make inquiries. How did the fire start? Where did the fire start? When did the fire start? What are the purpose that this building caught fire? All that analysis is afterwards, after you saved yourself. First business is to save yourself. Similarly, when we come into this material existence, we should try to save ourselves first and then make all other inquiries. And in our present condition, it is not easy to find out how did I fall down, when did I fall down, what was the desire that arose in my heart because of which I fell down. Don't try to analyze like that. It's not possible to get a proper reply for that. Next question. As for each Brahmanda, there is a Brahma. Likewise, is there a Shiva for each Brahmanda? A Shiva is not a correct understanding. In every Brahmanda, there is Shiva, Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva is one person. The same person is present in all Brahmandas. Shiva is not a post. Please understand. Vishnu is not a post. Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, one and only Supreme Lord. Shiva is one and only person of his kind. He's a special incarnation of the Supreme Lord for a particular purpose in this material world. So Shiva is not a position. The same Lord Shiva is there in every universe. The same Lord Vishnu is there in every universe. Same person expands into as many forms as there are universes. Lord Shiva expands into as many forms as there are universes. But Brahma is a post, Indra is a post, all the other devatas are posts. They are held by different living beings in different manvantaras, in different universes, different living beings. So according to the laws of nature, when some pious living beings develop a desire to occupy a particular post or get some control or get some authority to do administration, then they are rewarded by the laws of, according to the laws of nature, by the Supreme Lord, to occupy a particular post of a devata, either in this universe or some other universe. Every universe has got administrative demigods, devatas. But all positions except the position, except the personality of Durga, Shiva and Vishnu. These three personalities are unique personalities. They are the same in every universe. They are not different. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.